Welcome, thank you everyone for joining us for the launch of HT at the Plaza as we celebrate our 90th anniversary here at the Herald-Tribune. And we can't think of a better way to kick this off with four of the largest, most well-known.
Are you talking about my weight?
No, we're not even going to go there, or that dentist that's been stalking you. But we are going to talk about the fact that we have got four prominently well-known media stars here. And today we're going to have a conversation with Maverick, Lulu, David, and Christina as they talk about the role of media and engaging with the community. But first of all, you'll work next to each other in the studio. Pete has got you locked up in these dark rooms next to each other. How much interaction do y'all have during a typical day?
Not much. I mean, we really don't have time. They're doing their show, we're doing our show. We've got time constraints. You have to go to the bathroom quick, you got to get coffee quick. We don't really have a lot of water cooler time. And, you know, they've got, even though we're sister stations, we're still competitors, you know, so there's not a lot of chit chat.
Yeah, so you've talked enough now. So anyway.
Boom! Gloves off!
Nice.
You know, it's interesting. One of the few times that there was some interaction was about a week and a half ago, where Lulu came in complaining, and I'm like, "What's the matter?" And she's like, "There's no regular coffee. Was decaffeinated coffee for days apparently." And her and David had a rare moment, like 5:30 in the morning, where they were commiserating with each other about, why do we have decaffeinated coffee in here? Because 2 morning shows and there was no regular coffee in the whole building, and
we were weeping.
Yes.
Yes.
They were.
Yes.
I would figured y'all would have coffee patches or something to get started.
We
It
may
is
need
a
those.
requirement.
We may
Yeah.
not.
So you know, this is something that, because both of you have got established audiences, and yet you do it in a sense that you're not face to face, you're not dealing with people on a one-on-one basis. How do you exude that energy so that they are engaged with you?
Well, we are face-to-face. We are one-on-one because David and I just recently celebrated our 20th year anniversary together, and we have made it a point to make listeners for life, and we get to know each and every listener. Pittsburgh Tom is sitting there. He's watching us. I mean, we know as many names and their families and their backgrounds as we can, and they become part of our family. We become part of theirs. So it really is a lot more face-to-face than you would think.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up here. I went to school here. I went to Venice Elementary, middle, and high school. So.
Didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, you were Venice Garden. Did y'all like have, you know?
We were in
Was there like a
opposing
little
gangs
rumble?
that got on it. Yeah.
I understand that.
And
I thought so.
it's interesting because, you know, people grow up with you. So they things that you experience in life, they experience, and there's a bonding element to it. So I agree with Christina that there is an element of one-on-one because you are talking to one person in their house or in their car. So that's the way we look at it, as a one-on-one relationship.
Yeah, and you guys get letters to the editor, which we see, you know, a couple times a week. We have the same thing, only it's phone calls every day. We get instant feedback.
Multiple
and
lines.
They let you know how you're doing with the paper, and they definitely let know how we're doing with the radio stations.
And all of us are out in the community. It's a station event, it's a charity event, so that way we're also in touch with the people that are listening to us too, and also getting new listeners. So you're having conversation while you're out there with them, and if it's a charity event, you have the same passion. The reason that they're at the Alzheimer's Walk or whatever the event is because you're sharing that same passion. So that's another way of connecting and getting to know them.
Yeah, all of you have, and I think this is really a testament to both you as individuals and what you've brought to this community. But all of you are very passionate about the issues that you take on, and it seems like Pete gives you a lot of flexibility in saying, yeah, that's a cause that we need to get involved in. Why is this important for you to connect with the communities in the ways that you do?
I think that's probably the only thing that we should be doing is connecting with the community, because if it weren't for the community, we wouldn't have a show. You know, like you said, our manager was very, very flexible. Even with his wallet, recently we had the What the What campaign.
Pete lets his wallet
He
come
did.
out?
He opened it up and he actually gave us money and to be able to raise more money for Autism Speaks and Autism Awareness. And we just recently won the Visionary Crystal Puzzle Piece of the Year Award, thanks to you and the paper and your help for the entire campaign. And it's because we have the management that lets us be free enough to help the community as much as we can.
I think there's 2 roles for us. It's, you know, you want to entertain, because if you're not entertaining, you kind of don't have the opportunity to reach out in the community. And I think really our greatest asset is to make a difference. You know, we want to be able to entertain and have you laugh with us, but at the end of the day, making a difference is why we're here. And I know one of the things that Lou and I are most proud of is our involvement with the Sarasota National Cemetery. My dad and Lulu's dad are both there, and it's a relatively new cemetery. And one of the things that we learned upon was at the end of the year they do a wreath ceremony. And there weren't, when my dad was there for the first end of the year, there weren't wreaths on every hero's gravesite. And it's a non-denominational thing. It's just, they're in our minds, hearts, end of the calendar year. And through our audience, we went in 1 year from having maybe a third of all our heroes to have a wreath. For the last 3 years, every hero's had a wreath. So we take pride in that, and I think that goes to that one-on-one thing, and if we can make a difference with our platform, that's what we need to be doing.
You know what's amazing is, what a lot of people don't realize is they hear these staggering numbers, what they do with St. Jude, what we've done with blood drives, setting records. People hear those and they go, boy, you guys did such a great job getting the word out, but it's the community that is eager to deliver 9 times out of 10. It's amazing. Sometimes all you have to do is ask, and it comes back tenfold. We're always shocked with the turnout, whether it's a toy drive, a blood drive, cash donations. It's amazing what the community will do if you just ask and just say, you know, we need help in this department or this one. It happens, and they thank us,
Right.
but really it's a thanks to the community.
Yeah, we're just the conduit.
Yeah.
You know, we're just the clearinghouse.
So how do these issues evolve? And I know some of them are personal and some of them fit your passions, but how do you sort of figure out what's important and this is a cause that we want to go after?
You know, it's interesting. Just the other day, we had a little boy who drowned. And one of the things that we were talking about this morning is, you know, I just happened to Google amount of people that don't know how to swim. And it's shocking that almost 50% of people don't know how to swim. And so we were talking this morning about free swim classes, and are there free swim classes available, and where are they? And it was just from a regular conversation you might have in the break room, you might have around the dinner table, and that's how we develop stuff. People ask us all the time, how do you come up with your ideas for the conversations? It's just regular conversations out of concern. I mean, you wouldn't want to see your son or daughter or your niece or nephew in a situation like that, and so that's how that kind of stuff develops, Bill.
It's what everybody else is talking about too, so it's relative. If we see that something is very current and topical in the morning, that's what we want to grab onto, and especially if it's local. That's even the best way to get the calls and the people to want to listen and take part in it.
Wonderful. By the way, we are outside. We're filming this. There's bugs swarming. There's cars. But
Only around you. I've
only
seen the bugs around you. I'm not saying anything, but
I probably should have showered at least, knowing that
you
y'all
know.
would be here. So
Exactly.
Anyway, that's just going to make great video as I'm swatting away at myself. So what do y'all have coming up that the community needs to be aware of?
I have an event. This will be the 18th
Is this your
annual.
event or
this is mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is our 18th annual Wham Bam Thank You Mammogram.
Okay.
And we partner with different diagnostic centers over the last 18 years, and we offer women that have no insurance and no possibility of getting a free mammograms and their readings. And we've added it up. We've helped over 800 women in the past 18 years. So I'm real excited about that. That's coming up for October.
When we first started that so many years ago, like Maverick said, it came from a conversation, and actually the first thing we gave away was, I got squeezed with Christina Crane, and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. That was a big hit.
It's not just for orange juice anymore.
That's right, it's not just for OJ. But every year we do Pints for Play, which in the past, a lot of radio stations, they open up, and for every song you request, you have to pay. You have to pay money to get your request on the air, whether it's country or classic hits or rock and roll. Well, what we did was turn it around and said, if you donate a unit of blood, you get whatever song you want, or you can plug whatever business you want on the air, and that has kind of grown over the years. So we have that coming up. So that's a big one for us.
And one of our biggest ones actually came from Sarasota Herald-Tribune, which was our Santa Claus. A story that I had read about a Santa Claus helping out in Pensacola, and this was 19 years ago. And we took that idea, and I was like, you know what, we need to do a toy drive, but a little bit different, and we called it Santa Claus And then it's been here for 19 years now.
And we should point out, when we all started, there was no internet.
No.
That's not a joke. We got our information from the newspaper.
And stone tablets.
And stone tablets. It was the Sarasota Herald-Tribune, or we didn't have a connection to the community. So a lot has changed since we started. I know a lot's changed for you guys in the last 90 years. What do you guys have coming up?
We got three things. The fall for us is kind of three-pronged. In October, we are also a part of breast cancer awareness. We take part in the big walk at the Polo Grounds at the end of the month of October. My mom is a breast cancer survivor, so it's it's a cause close to our heart. And then we have two other events. We have in November, we spent a lot of time on the wreath for the cemetery, Sarasota National Cemetery, with our military heroes and their families. And then in December is our annual toy drive, and we work with the Marines Toys for Tots program. And one of the things is, I don't think people, they hear about these national programs, but they're facilitated on a local level, and they help local families. And the Marines do an unbelievable job. Both the guys that are coming back from Afghanistan, Iraq, Kuwait, they come in uniform, and it blows people away. And then the retired Marines, and as my dad, who was a Marine, they're never retired Marines, they're still Marines. And so those are kind of we do those every fall, and we've been doing them for 15, 20 years now.
And look forward to them. Definitely. This week also I'm doing the Alzheimer's Walk. They do one in Bradenton and one in Sarasota. I lost my father to Alzheimer's disease, so that's a passion of mine. So this Saturday I'll be emceeing that walk in Sarasota at the Marina.
Excellent.
So.
Wonderful. And it's amazing because the reality is, you're right. Not only are people connecting with it, but David, you mentioned sort of this era of digital and how it's changed everything. How has that, just from a perspective of how you engage your audiences, what are you doing different, or what are you finding that works really well?
Putting on makeup.
Putting on makeup for digital.
She's right, though, because
I'm right.
What's amazing is when we started, it was just what people heard. But now with the internet and websites and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, you know all about that. The people are seeing just about everything they're hearing now. There's a visual sidekick to everything that we're doing. And just in the same way when you guys started, you have you take 100 pictures, but one would make it into the paper for that event. Now you can go online to your website and see all 100 pictures that you guys took. Same goes for us. There's videos from our events. There's pictures. And
there's him following me into the bathroom with a video camera and getting and you wonder why I have stalkers, right?
That's right.
Okay, thanks.
It's funny, Bill. Radio has become a visual medium, and that might sound weird to say, but it really is, because so readily available. Whether it's being able to listen to us online and see a photo that accompanies it while you're listening to us, or photos of the events, and it's interesting, Lou and I were having this conversation about selfies and the whole selfie craze, but interestingly, if you post a picture of just where you are and what you're doing, it doesn't get a lot of attention. But if we post a selfie of us with a couple of people, it explodes online, and it's that whole visual connection that we were talking about earlier. People feel that connection because they see you and they can relate to it, and that's really how our world has changed in a way.
It's so amazing, because you're right. In fact, Christina's a big reader of the newspaper. My mornings are set on whether you guys are going to rip into the story or praise it. And the reality is, it does change the dynamics quite a bit. We're about to wrap up, and then of course we've got thousands and thousands of people here that have questions and want to get autographs.
Security!
Security! But I want to thank Maverick, Lulu, David, and Christina. You can catch Maverick and Lulu in the morning on 106.5, and of course the Jones and Crane Show, 20 years strong on 107.9. I thank you so much. It has been a true adventure from our perspective to have y'all in the community pushing the good things that take place. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're good.
Yay!